Hi, my name is Madeline Lenkart. I'm a senior at the United States Military Academy. I'm a systems engineering major, and I'm on the women's lacrosse team. My parents, they're both prior, now retired FBI agents. With both my parents, they would come back and they couldn't really discuss the work that they were working on, but I could just tell, even from a young age, that they really loved what they did and they just felt really inspired to do it. And it was time consuming and they were gone at times, and I think they saw that higher purpose in what they were doing. And that's something that definitely I felt like they instilled in me growing up, whether I realized it or not.
Her parents are awesome. They've raised an incredible daughter. I remember telling her dad recently, just she's a reflection of them, and it makes so much sense that she is who she is because of them. And they've given so much to this country, and it shows why Maddie wants to do the same.
There was a story that I distinctly remember growing up. Both my parents told it. They had slightly different perspectives on it. They talked about where they were during 9/11. So within the FBI, they have emergency crisis roles that are assigned to every FBI agent, and in the instance of a national crisis, those are the roles that you have to fulfill. And for my dad, what that was is going on leads, so he would get as much information as he could on something and then track down whether it's true, whether it's useful. And for my mom, that was physical security, so she was in charge of basically protecting the FBI building in DC. And so on 9/11, that met the requirement of a national crisis, and so they went into those roles. At the time, my mom was 8 months pregnant with me, so while conducting physical security, you have to wear a bulletproof vest. It didn't fit because she was 8 months pregnant, and I think just talking to her about that experience, she just remembers being it was very real, and the fact that I took an oath to do service to the nation, and that means putting myself and my future child potentially in jeopardy, just because that is what I swore to the American people as I was going to do. And so my dad was trying to track down what was happening, because this was in the midst of kind of a lot of false information coming in and reports, and there was concerns of car bombs, more airplanes coming towards DC. And my mom says that she remembers getting a call from my dad basically being you need to get out of DC. He knew that she was doing physical security, and as a concerned dad and father-to-be was you need to get out. And my mom's response to him was no, I'm an FBI agent. And I think that's something that I've always held on to, is my mom, just a huge role model in the sense of service for me. A lot of people always want to talk about my dad, oh, your dad was at West Point, he was in the Army, you're following in your dad's footsteps. But I think it was my mom and her bravery and selfless service that really has had the greatest impact on me in that sense, and the truest meaning of the word of selfless service. And that's, I think, they like to joke that I was there too. I was serving with my mom at that time, and so I was kind of born into it, but I think it took a few years for me to actually realize what service means, and I think I really do have my parents to thank for that, especially my mom.